For the fifth time in program history, Alabama State is heading to the NCAA tournament, where they will play St. Francis in the first four on Tuesday, entering with a 19-15 record. Heading into the season, the Hornets were projected to finish 6th in the SWAC and would enter the conference tournament as the 5 seed. After a wild SWAC tournament, the Hornets would come out on top. Can they continue that magic into March Madness? Let's talk about that. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college sports content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know who you think wins the national title this year in the comments section below. Alabama State would find early program success under head coach C.J. Dunn, who spent 22 seasons with the Hornets basketball program from 1934 to 1963, with a 3-year gap between 1955 and 1958. Under Dunn, Alabama State would win the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Tournament in 1935 and 1936. In 1963, Dunn would leave the Hornets, finishing with a 257 and 193 record. During a 3-season gap in the mid-50s, the program would find success under Ika Moorhead, who led them to a 70 and 20 record. Lucius Mitchell would take over as head coach in 1963, going 72 and 28 in 4 seasons. Ben Jobe would then spend 1 season as head coach, going 18 and 7, and would be replaced by Willie Parker in 1968. The Hornets would continue to find success throughout the 70s under Bernard Boozer and Floyd Lazier, making their only appearance in the Division II NCAA tournaments in 1972 and 1975, losing in the first round of both tournaments. They would also win the SWAC Conference Tournament twice in 1971 and 1972. In 1978, James Oliver would take over as head coach, going 291 and 181 over 17 seasons, finishing as the school's all-time winningest head coach. Under Oliver, the Hornets would move up to the Division I level, joining the SWAC Conference in 1982. Under Robert Spivery, the Hornets won their first SWAC Conference regular season title, as well as the conference tournament title, to earn a bid to the Division I NCAA tournament for the first time in school history in 2001, and in that 2001 tournament, Alabama State would fall to Michigan State in the first round, 69-35. They'd also win the SWAC Conference tournament title in 2004, making the NCAA tournament for the second time in school history, falling to Duke 96-61. Spivey would leave Alabama State following the 2005 season, finishing with a 129-136 record, which is only the second time in school history a coach would leave with a losing record at the time. He'd be replaced by Lewis Jackson, who would find some success as the Hornets head coach. They'd win the 2008 SWAC regular season title, but lose in the conference tournament, leading to their second bid to the NIT in school history, where they would fall to Arizona State 64-53. They would once again win the SWAC regular season conference title in 2008-2009, would win the conference tournament title this time, earning their third bid to the NCAA tournament in school history. In 2011, they would win the conference tournament once again, which would be their last appearance under Jackson to make the NCAA tournament. Aside from the 2013, 2014, and 2014-2015 seasons, the Hornets would have losing seasons under Jackson for the remainder of his tenure, and he would resign after 15 seasons in 2020, finishing with a 207 and 262 record. Alabama State would replace Jackson with former Alabama star and former NBA player Mo Williams, who would struggle with the Hornets, going 13 and 35 in 2 seasons, and decided to resign as a head coach in 2022. Tony Madlock would take over as the Hornets head coach in 2022, looking to revive the struggling program. Madlock played college basketball at Memphis and started his coaching career at Melrose High School as an assistant in 1995. He would get his first college coaching job in 1997 with Arkansas State as an assistant, and would become an assistant for UTEP in 2006. In 2010, he would serve as an assistant with Auburn and later Ole Miss in 2014. In 2018, he served as the Rebels' interim head coach, going 1-4. He would then return to his alma mater, Memphis, serving as an assistant for the Tigers under former college teammate Penny Hardaway. He would earn his first head coaching job in 2021, leading South Carolina State to a 15-16 record before joining Alabama State. In his first season, the Hornets would finish the season 8-23, but in 2023-2024, they would improve to 13-19 in his second season. Heading into the 2024-2025 season, the Hornets were projected to finish 6th in the SWAC, earning 1 first-place vote in the preseason poll. Grambling State would come into the season as the favorites to win the conference, earning 10 first-place votes. CJ Madlock would be named to the preseason All-SWAC first team, while CJ Hines and Uban Okan would both be named to the second team. The Hornets would open up the season 0-2, falling to UNLV and LSU before getting their first win of the season against Virginia Lynchburg, 115-64. They followed that up with a win over Omaha and Lamar before falling to Akron, Cincinnati, SMU, Southern Miss. They would snap their 4-game losing streak with a win over UT Martin, before losing to Norfolk State and Delaware State in the Chris Paul HBCU Classic. That losing streak would extend with a loss to Missouri to close out non-conference play, sitting at 4-9 with things looking rough through the early part of the season. They would open up conference play beating Mississippi Valley State and Arkansas Pine Bluff to start out 2-0 before losing to Jackson State and Alfred State. They would then win back-to-back games over Alabama A&M and Prairie View A&M, and then they would drop 3 of their next 4 games to Texas Southern and Bethune-Cookman and Grambling State, but beating Florida A&M. They closed out the regular season winning 7 of their last 8 games, beating Southern twice, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Mississippi Valley State, Florida A&M, Alabama A&M, and Grambling State, their lone loss coming to Bethune-Cookman. They entered the SWAC conference tournament sitting at 16-15 on the year and 12-6 in conference play, earning the 5th seed. Southern came into the conference tournament as the 1 seed, barely beating out Jackson State for the regular season title. Southern would come in with plus 165 odds to win the tournament, while Alabama State would come in with plus 650 odds, and the Hornets came into the tournament averaging the second most points per game in the conference. Isaac Bourne from Mid-Major Madness wrote, "The Hornets led by Amar Cox, 15 points per game heading into Birmingham, with the metaphorical number of the 1 seed Southern Jaguars. So with the ability to beat the best of the SWAC at the highest, Alabama State looks to take the SWAC with the second best offense to win its first conference championship since 2010-2011. The number 1 and 2 seeds have won a majority of the conference tournament titles since the NCAA tournament expanded back in 2011. The first round of the tournament, they would beat Texas Southern 84-79 and took on Grambling State in the semifinals. In that game, the Hornets would explode for 25 points on the bench, while CJ Hines led the team in scoring with 15 points and 5 assists, as Alabama State would win 64-62. In the championship game, they would take on 2-seed Jackson State, where Hines would go for 20 points and 3 steals, and the Hornets would overcome a 9-point deficit to win 60-56, win their first conference tournament title since 2011, and punching their ticket to the NCAA tournament for the first time since then as well. They entered the tournament as a 6 seed and will face St. Francis in the first 4, with the winner playing Auburn, and the Hornets are red hot heading into their first 4 matchup, winning 6 straight games and 11 of their last 13 games. They are 3.5-point favorites heading into the game against St. Francis and are looking for their first win in the NCAA tournament in school history. CJ Hines is the team leading scorer, averaging 14.4 points per game, will be an important playmaker for the Hornets in the game. Their first 4 matchup tips off at 6:40 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. What do you think? Can Alabama State go on a run this year? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.